They call it the Loup-Garou. It's a name whispered in fear, a shadow that haunts the deep woods of rural Quebec. I'm Jean-Pierre, and I'm the man they call when those shadows grow teeth. This forest, ancient and vast, is my hunting ground. For centuries, my family has walked these paths, not as simple hunters of deer or bear, but as guardians against something far older, something that defies the natural order. We listen to the whispers on the wind, the stories told around dying fires. We are the ones who stand between the village and the encroaching darkness. The beast has claimed 3 victims already. A logger, a young couple who strayed too far from the path. It's careless, it's hungry, and its time is running out. This isn't just a hunt, it's an intervention. A grim duty passed down through generations. The tracks were easy enough to find near the last attack, a mauling too savage for any common predator. No bear or wolf pack tears a man apart like that. The tracks were enormous, a horrifying hybrid of wolf and man, pressed deep into the frozen mud near the riverbank. They told a story of immense power and unnatural gait. I followed them from the tree line, my silver-laced hunting knife cold against my hip. A familiar weight that brings no comfort, only resolve. The air grew still as I moved deeper into the woods, the normal sounds of the forest fading into an oppressive silence. It was heavy with the scent of pine and something else, something primal and wrong. The metallic temps of old blood mixed with a musk that makes the hair on your arms stand up. The trail, a path of broken branches and disturbed earth, led me to a small, isolated cabin. Its door was splintered, hanging from a single, groaning hinge. Inside, chaos. Furniture tossed aside like kindling. A table shattered, its legs snapped. Scratches deep and long scarred the wooden walls. This was a place of sheer terror, the epicenter of a violent, desperate struggle. Someone had fought for their life in here, and they had lost. I spent some time in the village, speaking with the elders. Their faces were etched with a fear that was older than any of them. They spoke of a trapper, a man named Antoine, who went missing about a month ago. A good man, they said, but a quiet one. A man who kept to himself, who spent more time in the woods than he did with people. They talked about the full moon, about a curse that runs in old bloodlines, a sickness of the soul that can be passed down like a family trait. In this line of work, you learn that folklore and fact are just 2 sides of the same coin. The stories the old ones tell, they aren't just tales to scare children. They're warnings, they're history. You have to learn to respect the stories. With the information I had, I knew what I had to do. The sun was beginning its descent, and I had little time. I spent the afternoon fortifying my position, not for a simple hunt, but for a siege. I went back to my own cabin, to a small, hidden chest passed down from my grandfather. Inside, a few silver heirlooms, a locket, a pair of cufflinks, tarnished with age. Not much, but enough. I melted them down over a small forge, the process a somber ritual. From the molten silver, I cast the bullets that would be my only true defense. Each one is a promise, a final word in a deadly conversation. I know a rifle shot to the heart is the surest way. I also prepared my traps, not the steel-jawed kind for bears, but ones laced with wolfsbane. The flower scent is anathema to them. It won't kill, but it will weaken, disorient, and slow the monster down. It might just give me the edge I need. As dusk bled across the sky, painting the snow-dusted pines in hues of orange and deep purple, I found my perch. A rocky outcrop overlooking a clearing, the very same clearing where the trapper's violated cabin stood. It offered a clear line of sight, a defensible position. The moon began its slow ascent, a perfect, cold circle of light hanging in the ink-black sky. It's the beacon that calls the werewolf, the celestial trigger that peels away the man to reveal the monster within, and then a sound that chills you to the bone. A howl ripped through the silence. It wasn't the cry of a wolf pack, territorial and wild. This was something deeper, more guttural, a sound filled with the agony of a soul being torn apart. The sound of transformation, the sound of a man losing himself to the beast. It emerged from the shadows of the tree line, larger than any bear, moving with an unnatural fluid speed. It was bipedal, a horrifying mockery of a man, its form silhouetted against the stark white snow. Its back was hunched, its arms long and powerful, ending in claws that glinted in the moonlight. Its eyes, 2 points of piercing, hateful yellow, scanned the clearing. It sniffed the air, its head turning, jaw slack and dripping. It was hunting. It was searching for its next victim. I raised my rifle, the stock cold against my cheek. The silver bullet felt heavy in the chamber. My breath was a white cloud in the frigid air, the only sign of my own racing heart. It caught my scent. Its head snapped in my direction, with a deafening roar that shook the trees. It charged, covering the ground in impossible, bounding leaps. The first shot went wide. It was just too fast, its movements erratic and unpredictable. It crashed into the outcrop, the impact shaking the very rock I stood on. Chunks of stone broke free and tumbled into the snow. Claws like daggers scraped against the rock face, seeking purchase, trying to climb to me. I cycled the bolt, chambering another round. I fired again, this time aiming for its leg, trying to cripple it, to slow it down. The bullet struck home. It howled, a shriek of pain and pure rage. The scent of burning flesh and searing silver filled the air. It stumbled, its massive leg buckling, but it was not stopped. Fueled by agony, it lunged with renewed ferocity. I was thrown from my perch. The rifle knocked from my hands as I fell, landing hard in the deep snow below. The wind was knocked out of me. My rifle was gone, lost somewhere in the darkness. The beast was on me in a second, its hot, foul breath washing over my face. Its weight pressed me into the snow, its sheer power overwhelming. I could see the rage in its yellow eyes, the promise of a violent end. As its jaws, filled with teeth like sharpened stakes, snapped inches from my throat, I drew my knife. My last resort, the last piece of silver I owned. With all the strength I had left, I plunged the blade deep into its chest, aiming for the heart. A shudder ran through its massive frame. The yellow light in its eyes flickered, then dimmed. It collapsed beside me, its weight immense, a dead, heavy thing. And then, in the eerie silence of the forest, the change began. The brutal, monstrous form shrank. The thick fur receded back into pale skin. The snout shortened, the claws retracted into human fingers. In the cold light of the moon, I watched the werewolf die, and, in its place, a man lay still in the snow. His face, no longer twisted in rage, but settled in a final moment of peace, was that of the missing trapper, Antoine. I got to my feet, my body aching, my mind numb. I looked down at the tragic figure. I had not hunted a monster tonight. I had freed a man from his curse. There's no victory here, only a profound sadness. The forest would keep his secret. It always does. And I would walk away. Another ghost in the long, cold night, carrying the weight of what I'd done. Thank you for listening to my story. If you're intrigued by the tales that hide in the shadows, follow for more.